and Roosevelt University. I'm Terry Bonadonna. I'm on the call for today's game from Slammers Stadium, just off the campus of St. Francis. The Fighting Saints are at home today, first in back-to-back home games for them. 4 straight, going back to Sunday. Those will be back-to-back days with games today and tomorrow. Today they take on their former conference rivals, now up in NCAA Division II, the Lakers from Roosevelt. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visitors who come here from downtown Chicago. The Lakers have Harrison Kowalski leading off. James Berry bats second and left. Hitting third baseman Kikoa Ogawa. Kyle Janenga is behind the plate. Batting fifth, second baseman Sebastian Casillas. Jack Kiefer hits sixth at first base. Batting seventh, designated hitter JoJo Mack. Andrew Lucas plays shortstop. And hitting ninth, right fielder Gavin Millard. Kowalski leads things off for the Lakers, who come in at 0-2 on the season. This is a game rescheduled from last week. And the first pitch is taken over the inside corner for strike one on Kowalski. We're underway, 2:57 p.m. Central Standard Time, rather. 0-1 on Kowalski. He lines the next pitch into left field, and it sinks right in front of Cliff Vickers for a base hit. Kowalski is aboard to begin today's ball game. Good start for Roosevelt as they get their leadoff man on. The Roosevelt lineup I read off just moments ago is going against freshman right-hander Frank Kurbis, local product from Joliet, Illinois, Joliet Catholic Academy. Starting his first game as a member of the Fighting Saints. It's his second appearance overall, and he fires strike one on James Berry. In his first outing, Kurbis went 3 innings. He allowed 1 run on 3 hits, no walks. He struck out 3. Pickoff down to second base, and he's in there on time. Kowalski has himself a steal. And the Lakers have a man in scoring position. One and one on James Berry. Throw from catcher Will Calcaterra was not able to get Kowalski on time. The next pitch is up high, 2-1. For Harrison Kowalski, that's the first stolen base and the first stolen base attempt of the season. Roosevelt as a team has not been caught this year. They're 4 for 4. 2-1 pitch. Lined behind home plate and off the netting. Foul ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. James Berry is off to an impressive start to this season. Through 2 games, 4 hits. So Berry is now 5 for 6 on the season. He's got his first RBI of the year. Just the 4th run scored by Roosevelt. They were held to 3 over their first 2 games. But they've got one just 2 batters in today. Pickoff attempt over at first base. Berry dives back to the bag. The batter is Kikoa Ogawa, senior third baseman out of Hawaii. Ogawa takes the ball inside. Looking for his first hit of the year. Ogawa is 0 for 5 so far this season. Runner on the move, line drive out to the right side and past the second baseman Alex Martinez. It scoots all the way to the wall out in the right center field gap. Berry comes in to score. Ogawa motors into third base, and he dives in ahead of the tag. It's a triple and an RBI, 2-0 Roosevelt. James Berry was running with the pitch. If he hadn't been, that play may have turned out completely differently. The second baseman, Alex Martinez, was ranging to his right to cover the bag, and the ball shot just. Runner at third base, 1 down. And we're down to the number 5 hitter, second baseman Sebastian Casillas. Just going back to that Ogawa triple. It was a hard hit ball. I mean, once it did drop in the outfield, it was able to slide all the way to the wall. So it had some juice on it. First pitch to Sebastian Casillas is tapped down the first baseline, foul for strike 1. If Martinez was not forced to cover the base, though, base is empty now for Kurbis, so a nice recovery from him in getting back-to-back outs, and now he can focus on the hitter with nobody on base. Kiefer takes ball one. Low and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Next pitch to Kiefer is grounded weakly down the third base line. It's a foul ball, and the count goes to 2-1. Jack Kiefer 2 for 5 so far this season. Kiefer over the weekend went 2 for 5. Gavin Millard went 2 for 5. James Berry went 4 for 5. So those 3 guys had good series. Nobody else was able to get on very much as Kiefer swings through it for strike 2. Lakers were outscored 14-3. And the rest of their roster outside of those 3 guys I mentioned managed just 1 hit in 35 at-bats. Downstairs, full count on Kiefer. If he reaches, JoJo Mack bats next. 3-0, Lakers lead. Bottom of the first inning, St. Francis will come to bat for the first time, trailing 3-0. Take a look at their starting lineup for today. Mitchell Thomas leads off playing center field. Alex Martinez in the 2 spot playing second base. Batting third, first baseman Nate Maliska. Jake Murda hits cleanup. He's the DH. Cliff Vickers is in left field. Batting sixth, catcher Will Calcaterra. Jack Salzeder bats seventh at third base. Alex Milcars is the shortstop, and hitting ninth, right fielder Max Montgomery. First pitch of the game, slaps it foul. The count goes to 0-2. 3 runs on 3 hits from Roosevelt in the top of the first. All 3 of those runs came from the first 3 batters. They went single, single, triple to open the game. Ball up and in, 1-2. From that point on, Frank Kurbis settled in. Got a pop out, a ground out, and a strikeout. We'll see if he can carry that over into the second inning. But first, his offense will try to back him up with some runs. Mitchell Thomas off to a really nice start to his St. Francis career. He pops it foul to the left side, out of play. Still 1-2. His first 6 games this year, he's gone 7 of 18 at the plate, the leading hitter for the Fighting Saints at .389. He's also got one of only 2 home runs hit by the team so far this season, and he's driven in 2 runs. He takes high here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He'll see a 6th pitch. Alex Martinez waits on deck. Thomas, left-handed hitting outfielder, swings and fouls it straight back. Still 2-2. Starting in center field today. Thomas is a junior transfer from junior college. He's local, went to Joliet Junior College last year, came over to the Fighting Saints. So far, he's fit right in at the top of the order. Another 2-2. Goes behind his back on a breaking ball that didn't quite break. It's better that it didn't break, really, because it would have hit Mitchell Thomas. He just missed his location. So now the count is full. Thomas trying to find his way on base any way he can. 8th pitch coming up. And he misses outside, ball 4. Good at bat from Thomas. He fell behind, worked it full, fouled off a couple of pitches, and ultimately he draws the leadoff walk from Bobbitt. 3rd walk issued in 3 innings pitched this season for Bobbitt. And now he faces Alex Martinez. Martinez off to a rough start at the plate so far this season. 1 of 16 with 1 walk, 1 run scored. Roosevelt thinks he might be bunting. Even with a 3-run deficit, certainly a possibility. Martinez steps up in the box, now moves back. Ball high, runner on the move, throw to second is in time, and the tag is applied. Thomas is out. Mitchell Thomas caught stealing for the first time this year. He had been 4 for 4. He is the first out of the bottom of the 1st inning. So like Roosevelt, St. Francis got their leadoff man on base in the 1st inning. Unlike Roosevelt, they're not able to bring him around to score. Now Martinez bats with 1 out, nobody on, and gets drilled by the pitch. 2nd time already that he's been hit by a pitch this season, playing in just his 7th game. And he's aboard. So the first 2 men have reached for St. Francis. Thanks to the caught stealing, only 1 on. But a shaky start for Bobbitt, who has thrown 6 of his first 10 pitches today for balls. First baseman Nate Maliska stands in, 250 hitter. 3 RBIs, 4 runs scored. He hits a high hopper to second base. Charging, Casillas gloves it, throws to first in time. Martinez advances to second on the play. Softly hit ball that took a high hop. There was no chance to get the lead runner. So Martinez does move up. But Casillas is able to get the batter out. And now there are 2 down with a man in scoring position. The batter is Jake Murda. Murda is today's designated hitter. Catcher by trade. First pitch to him misses low and in, ball 1. Murda is making his 6th start out of the team's 7 games. 2 for 17 at the plate. That's a 118 average. He has driven in 1 run. Ball low and in. So Bobbitt continues to struggle with his control. 13 pitches, 8 balls to only 5 strikes. But thanks to the caught stealing, he's on the verge of getting out of this inning without any problems. He's walked 1, he's hit 1 batter, but just 1 on base with 2 outs. The 2-0 pitch. Strike called, 2-1. Roosevelt made the move up to NCAA Division II this year. They have for a long time been conference rivals with St. Francis in the CCAC. This will be the only time they see each other this year. Ball inside, 3-1. They're used to playing 3 or more games against one another every year. This one was originally scheduled last Wednesday. It was about 45 degrees colder last Wednesday than it is today. So they decided to just sit on it for a little while. 3-1 pitch. Ground ball left side. Softly hit. Charged by the third baseman Ogawa. His throw to first is not there. It's pulled Jack Kiefer off the base, and a run comes in to score. Good base running by Murda as he chugs on down to second base on the play. It's a 3-1 game. It was a softly hit ground ball to third. Ogawa made the play, but he had to act quickly. Even with Murta, who's not particularly speedy, running down the line. And he made the throw in plenty of time to get Murta at first base, but it yanked Jack Kiefer off the bag. And so Murta was safe at first. Good base running all around as Vickers flies it into right field. Despite a little bit of a stumble, Gavin Millard gets under it and makes the catch to end the inning. St. Francis settles for the one run. They leave a man at second. We go to the second inning. 3-1, Lakers on top. Top of the second inning, bottom of the order for Roosevelt. JoJo Mack leads things off and takes ball one. Upstairs from Frank Kurbis. Kurbis got off to a shaky start, allowed hits against the first three batters. He retired the next three in a row, so he's trying to make it four straight by getting the leadoff man here in the second. JoJo Mack takes ball two. Mack is getting his first start of the season. He takes a strike. Strike over the outside corner here, 2-2. He's 0 for 1 at the plate so far this year. He'll be followed in the batting order by Lucas and Millard. 7, 8, and 9 due up. Kurbis misses low, ball three. Max still has not found the need to take the bat off his shoulder. 5 pitches in. Full count. Trying to reach base as the leadoff hitter. Check swing tapper right back to the mound. Kurbis gloves it, throws to first, and gets the out. Kind of an excuse me swing from Mack, but with 2 strikes, he had to protect the plate. Not able to put a good cut on it. He is out number 1, 4 straight set down by Kurbis. And here's the shortstop, Andrew Lucas. Lucas is a freshman out of Oak Forest, Illinois. Kind of in between these two schools. He falls back the first pitch for strike one. Up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swings this one and fouls it away. 1-2 the count with 1 out and nobody on base. Oak Forest, south suburb of Chicago. Roosevelt is located directly in the city. So like I said, Lucas is right on the fence between these two locations. So he takes a ball high, 2-2. Recruiting has been a little bit different for the Lakers since making their announcement that they're moving to NCAA Division II. Fly ball into right field. Millard takes a step back into the shadows of the lights. He makes the catch. Montgomery, rather, makes the catch. 2 down. And now Millard is the hitter. Sun is shining brightly today. Nary a cloud in the sky. Shadows are setting in along the third baseline. Montgomery made that catch in the midst of the light tower shadow. Check swing, he went, strike 1. Gavin Millard 2 for 5 so far this year with a couple of singles. As a team, Roosevelt does not have an extra base hit this season coming into today. Millard flies this one into left field. Cliff Vickers under it, makes the grab. Inning over, 6 straight set down by Kurbis. I should mention before going to break, Roosevelt does, in case you were wondering, have an extra base hit already today. They lead 3-1. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Strike 1 called to begin the bottom of the second inning on St. Francis's number 6 hitter, Will Calcaterra. Calcaterra is the catcher. Getting the start today for USF, his second start of the season. Just 3 at-bats so far this year for him. He's 1 for 3 with a base hit and a couple of strikeouts. He swings and misses here and is quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Saints had a little bit of success in the first inning against Keegan Bobbitt. 3 of their 5 batters reached base. 1 of them scored, but they didn't get a hit. Strike 3 called over the inside corner. Calcaterra goes down looking on just 3 pitches, and the leadoff batter is out here in the second inning. First inning, both teams got their leadoff man on. Here in the second, neither team has been able to. Here's Jack Salzeder. Salzeder is the third baseman. Left-handed bat, swings the first pitch and fouls it back off the screen. He's getting just his second at-bat of the season. Struck out his first time up this year. The 0-1 from Bobbitt, taken for a strike, 0-2. In the first inning, first 2 batters reached for the Saints, a walk and a hit by pitch. Thanks to a caught stealing, though, they ended up with a runner at first and 1 out, not much of a threat. Salzeder goes down looking, strike 3, back-to-back strikeouts. They've both come looking, and they've both been 3-pitch at-bats. Really good start to this inning for Bobbitt. And Alex Milkar's the last man for the Saints to have hope of keeping the inning alive. Milkar's early this season has been used primarily as a pinch runner. He swings the first pitch, pops it up into foul territory, out of play, behind the first base dugout, strike 1. He has seen action, including today, in now 6 out of the 7 games, but has a grand total of just 5 at-bats. This is number 6. He's 0 for 5 and has scored a run. Next pitch from Bobbitt. Swing and a miss, 0-2. 8 pitches, 8 strikes this inning. He's trying to strike out the side. First 2 batters both went down looking. This was after he had a lot of trouble throwing strikes in the first inning. He has calmed down in a hurry. Milkars makes contact, puts it in play over to third base. Ogawa on the run, throws it to first, and ends the inning. So he just misses the immaculate inning, but still a really nice 9-pitch, 1-2-3 inning. Didn't throw a single ball. We'll head to the third. 3-1 Roosevelt. Top of the order for Roosevelt. Top of the third inning. Kowalski, Berry, and Ogawa combined to create 3 runs in the first. They'll try to do it again against Frank Kurbis here in the third. Kurbis starts with strike 1. Kowalski singled on the second pitch of the ball game. This time he swings the second pitch and grounds it right to third base. Salzeder up with it, over to first for the out. 7 straight set down by Kurbis, and he'll face James Berry for the second time. Kowalski, Berry, Ogawa went single, single, triple in the first inning. Roosevelt took a 3-0 lead in the blink of an eye. They haven't done anything since then. Ground ball into right field, and there's their first hit since the first inning. James Berry has his second single of the contest. He is aboard at first base with 1 out. So James Berry, who was 4 for 5 in his first 2 games of the season, is 2 for 2 today. 6 for 7 now on the campaign. That is, I'm trying to figure out, do the quick math in my head. I'm not so good at math. We'll call it a high batting average. I think that sounds about right. Want to know on Kikoa Ogawa. Ogawa had the big hit in the first inning. A triple into right center field, right over the shoulder of the second baseman, Alex Martinez, who was running right to try to guard against a base stealer. And the ball was hit right back to his left. It was the biggest hit of the game so far. He's ahead in the count here, 2-0. Kerbis keeping a close eye on Barry over at first base. It was Barry who was attempting the steal that led to that triple. Runner on the move here. It's a ground ball to short. Sliding stop by Milkars does not make a throw. It's an infield hit for Kikoa Ogawa. Back-to-back singles. Same culprits doing it again here in the third. Barry, Ogawa, and now it's Janenga's turn to try to drive at least one of them in. Kyle Janenga popped out to the second baseman on the first pitch he saw in his first at-bat. So he was not able to capitalize on an RBI chance last time around. But this is another chance as he takes a breaking ball over the inside corner for strike one. Kerbis trying to pitch out of trouble. Freshman pitched well in his first start. His numbers are not, I don't think, going to look good at the end of this one, but he's trying to get out of it without any further damage. That's a fair ball from Janenga. Barry scores. Ogawa comes in to score as well. A double for Janenga and a 2-run hit to make the score 5-1 Roosevelt. Top of the order is getting things done for the Lakers today. Awfully impressive. 1 through 4 in the lineup have combined to go 6 for 8 with 5 runs scored and 4 RBIs. For Kyle Janenga, first hit and first 2 runs batted in this year. Still just 1 out as Casillas steps in and takes strike 1. A lot of good speed at the top of the order as well. There has not been any doubt on any of these hits about runners scoring. Ground ball weakly hit down the third base line, just barely foul. Casillas started to make his way down the first base line. He'll head back behind home plate to scoop up his bat and face an 0-2 count. Casillas does have an RBI today. Brought home Ogawa from third base on a ground out in the first. Ground out won't score the run here. A base hit will. Line drive into center field. It is a base hit. And Janenga is going to try to score. The throw comes in from Mitchell Thomas, and it's cut off as Janenga decides to stay at third base after all. Waved around initially and held up at the last second. They didn't want to test the arm of Mitchell Thomas. That's 4 consecutive hits for the Lakers. And now they've got runners at the corners with still just 1 out. That 1 out was the first batter of the inning. Harrison Kowalski hit a harmless ground out to third. Since then, they've put the pressure on. Here's Jack Kiefer, the number 6 hitter, batting for the second time. Grounder to second. Martinez trying to get 2 out of it. Milkars pivots, throws to first, and ends the inning. 4-6-3 on the double play. And the Saints avoid any further harm. However, Roosevelt does score twice on 4 consecutive hits. And as we head to the bottom of the third inning, the Lakers lead the Saints 5-1. 9-1-2 due up for St. Francis. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Saints have some work to do. They trail by 4 runs. Montgomery bats for the first time against Keegan Bobbitt, who's been very good. Bobbitt misses low and away, ball 1. He has not allowed a hit through the first 2 innings. Shaky start for him. He walked the leadoff batter, hit the second batter of the game. But since then, he's retired 5 out of 6. Fouled away 1-1 on Montgomery. Max Montgomery, 2 for 14 this year. He has walked 4 times. So his on-base percentage is a respectable .333 despite the lack of hits. Swing and a miss here. It's 1-2 out in front of an off-speed pitch. Another 2-strike count. We've seen a lot of them. Second inning featured 9 total. Order will follow Montgomery. It's Mitchell Thomas waiting on deck. Bobbitt trying to retire the leadoff man for the second straight inning. Montgomery keeps the at-bat alive with a sharp foul ball off to the right side. Active start to the season for St. Francis. Went down to Tennessee to start the year. That's where they played their first 4 games before returning home. High bouncer, right side, played by the first baseman Jack Kiefer behind the bag, and he carries it over himself to retire Montgomery 3 unassisted. 5 straight set down by Bobbitt. Leadoff man is out in the third. Thomas outside off the glove of the catcher Janenga. Ball 1. You just never know with February and even March games, but certainly in February. A game played as scheduled is more the exception than the rule. High fly, shallow left field. James Berry comes racing in on it towards the line. He dives and he pulls it in. Nice play by Berry to retire Thomas. 2 down in the third inning. Lost his hat on his way to the ball. Took a little bit of a circuitous route. Once he was able to find it, though, he's able to make a nice athletic play to retire Thomas for the first time. And now Martinez is the last man standing for St. Francis in the third. Alex Martinez was hit by a pitch in the first inning. No official at-bats as he takes strike 1. Martinez then scored the only St. Francis run of the game so far. He came around with 2 outs on an error that allowed Jake Murda to reach base. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Two outs, nobody. Weekend were not played as scheduled. They were supposed to be down in Kentucky, and that didn't work out for weather reasons. Ball outside, 2-2. So Georgetown hopped on a bus and headed north. That can never be fun. It's bad enough when your games get rescheduled because of all the February and March weather. It's even worse when you lose a home game and you have to go on a 5-hour bus ride instead. Fouled away, still 2-2. It's usually the opposite. Usually the teams in the Chicago area are adjusting their schedule to go south during the spring. But last week it was that with 2 outs and nobody on, Martinez is trying to reach base for the second time today. It got him on the foot, and he does reach base for the second time today. Both of them on hit by pitches. That is already the 3rd time this year that he's been plunked. And that one didn't feel good. Looked like it got him right in the foot below the shin guard. So he's a little bit slow to get moving. He'll have a talk with the trainer as well. 5-1, Roosevelt leads St. Francis. Saints are still looking for their first hit of the game. Martinez becomes their 4th base runner. Assuming he is able to run the bases. It is unseasonably warm today. Temperatures in the upper 50s. But that's still not actually warm. It's just warm for this part of the country this time of year. It's not so warm that it doesn't sting a little bit more when you get hit by a pitch the way that Martinez has now twice. Nate Meliska is 0 for 1. Grounded out to second base in the first inning. Trying to help St. Francis back in the game. They look to mount a 2-out rally. Meliska takes a strike. Keegan Bobbitt pitching from the stretch. He does that all the time anyway. The runner at first base. Doesn't bother him too much in that regard. Strike called, 0-2. Alex Martinez can run a little bit after having just gotten hit in the foot. I don't know if that's on his agenda in this at-bat. He is dancing over at first base. Meliska protects the plate with an 0-2 count. Just gets a piece of it, fouls it back, still 0-2. The Martinez hit by pitch snapped a string of 6 consecutive batters retired by Keegan Bobbitt. Trying to start a new streak right here. His 4th pitch to Nate Meliska. Grounded through the hole on the... Martinez at second, Meliska at first. Murta did not get credit for an RBI his last time up, but it was his at-bat that brought home the run. Martinez scored when Murta reached on an error. Now we'll see if Murta can come through with 2 outs again. Swinging at the first pitch, he does come through. A base hit out to right field. Martinez will try to score. The throw comes in from Millard, and it's not in time. Nobody covering second base, so Murta takes an extra bag. 5-2 is our score. Another 2-out run-scoring play from Jake Murta. First RBI of the game. Second RBI of the season. Did not get credit for the RBI in the first inning because it occurred on an error. That's 3 straight 2-out base runners. In fact, Bobbitt had 2 outs and an 0-2 count on Martinez with nobody on base. And he ends up giving up at least 1 run. Here's Vickers trying to make it more than that. Cliff Vickers takes ball 1 outside. He's 0 for 1. Flew out to left field his first time up. St. Francis 2. 5-2, Roosevelt leads St. Francis. JoJo Mack leads off the top of the 4th inning and takes a first pitch strike from Frank Kurbis. Roosevelt has scored twice in this game. Both times the Saints have answered immediately with a run. But the difference in score is that the Lakers have been putting up crooked numbers and the Saints have not. Ball 1 to even the count. Fouled back, 1-2. Lakers have taken advantage for the most part of their base runners. They've got 7 hits. They've only stranded 1 man on base through 3 innings. Ball low, 2-2. Saints have scored their 2 runs. They've left 3 men on. And all 3 of those have been left in scoring position. Fouled off the screen, just to the right, still 2-2. So the Saints have tried to keep up offensively, but they've certainly left some runs on the field. Two. High pop-up, shallow left center field. Milcars goes back on it. He's called off. It is the center fielder, Mitchell Thomas, making the grab. 1 up, 1 down in the top of the 4th. 3rd straight inning that Kurbis has retired the leadoff man, as we've seen plainly in this game so far. Does not guarantee you success. Last inning after the first batter was retired, the next 4 in a row all reached base. And then in the bottom of the 3rd inning, first 2 St. Francis hitters were retired, and then 3 straight reached base, leading to a run. Andrew Lucas takes strike 1. Lucas is 0 for 1. He flew out to right field. Kurbis has handled the bottom of the order so far. Fouled away. 0-2. 6 through 9 in the batting order for Roosevelt have gone a combined 0 for 6. Far cry from the top of the order. They've gone 7 for 12. Ball outside, 1-2. One out, nobody on base. Kurbis tries to put away Lucas. Line shot to short, and Milcars makes a nice play to his left to retire Lucas for the 2nd out. Hard hit ball. Milcars was on it the whole way. He had no problems. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Gavin Millard. Millard 2 for 5 coming into today. He flew out to left field in his first at bat. He hits a ground ball to the shortstop on the first pitch here, and Milcars boots it. Millard is aboard. 2 out base runner for Roosevelt. So it's an error on the St. Francis shortstop. First error of the game on the Saints, and it keeps the inning alive. Could turn out not to be impactful, but as we saw in the bottom of the 3rd inning, get a 2 out base runner could lead to something big. Saints got 3 straight runners with two outs as Harrison Kowalski takes ball 1. You also have to keep in mind that now we're back to the top of the order. These guys have done a number on Kurbis so far. He wanted to get out of the inning by retiring the number 9 hitter. On the move, the pitch is high for a ball. Throw to second is in time. That wipes the air off the board for all intents and purposes. Kowalski will have to go back out into the field and resume this at bat, or restart it, I suppose, next inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, nobody left on base. To the bottom of the 4th, our score is 5-2. Roosevelt leads. Will Calcaterra leads off the bottom of the fourth inning for St. Francis. Saints trail the Roosevelt Lakers 5-2. Calcaterra, Salzeder, and Milkars due up against Keegan Bobbitt. Good game so far for Bobbitt. He's allowed just one earned run through 3 innings. First pitch gets Calcaterra to chase for strike 1. He struck out Will Calcaterra back in the second inning, one of his 2 Ks on the stat sheet. They're both backwards, and they also were back-to-back. Hasn't struck anybody out swinging yet. The 0-1. Inside for a ball, 1-1. Next pitch to Calcaterra. Swung on and missed. 1-2. Runs have come in this game when teams have been able to bunch together base runners. Lakers got 3 hits and 3 runs in the first. Those 3 runs were courtesy of 3 consecutive hits. Foul tipped, still 1-2. In the third inning, they had 4 consecutive hits and scored 2 more runs. One, two. Chased it outside, strike 3 swinging. And Calcaterra is out number 1. Third strikeout of the ball game for Bobbitt. And it brings up Salzeder. Aside from Calcaterra, Jack Salzeder is the other strikeout victim. He fouls the first pitch off, strike 1. This will probably be the last inning for Bobbitt, pitching with the shadows to his benefit. Shadows are stationed between the pitcher's mound and home plate, which makes it difficult for the hitter to see. Strike over the inside corner, 0-2. By next inning, unless we get some really quick ones here, I would assume that that shade will have surpassed the pitcher's mound. That's one little advantage that would be gone. High pop up, left side of the infield. Andrew Lucas is under it. Lucas makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Alex Milkars. Milkars grounded out to third base in the second inning, the only man to make contact that inning. He's 0 for 1, 1 for 6 on the year. He swings at the first pitch, wraps it on the ground to second base. Ranging to his left, Casillas gloves, throws to first. It's a low throw, but Kiefer's able to dig it out. Nice play by Casillas and by Kiefer. Milkars is retired on just 1 pitch. It's another 1-2-3 inning, worked by Keegan Bobbitt. We'll go to the 5th, 5-2. Roosevelt still leads. Roosevelt leads by 3. They come to bat in the 5th inning against a new St. Francis pitcher. 4 innings in the books for Frank Kurbis. And the new man out there is Jacob Jerka, junior from New Lenox, Illinois. Jerka will face the top of the Roosevelt order in the 5th, starting with Harrison Kowalski. Jerka's first pitch to Kowalski misses the inside corner for ball 1. For Jerka, this is the 2nd appearance of the season. First time out, he went an inning and a third, allowed 1 run on 3 hits with 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Low and in, 2-1. He relieves Frank Kurbis, who had a fine performance today in his freshman campaign. 2nd career start. Strike called, 2-1 on Kowalski. Kowalski went 1 for 2 against Kurbis with a single and a run scored. He was in the batter's box with a 2-0 count when last inning ended. Millard was caught stealing. That is roped out to deep left field, chasing it back Vickers. Vickers has room to make the catch over the shoulder. Nice play. Long way to run for Vickers, but he was able to get to the spot in time to put away the leadoff batter in the 5th. Leadoff man has been retired now in every inning except for the 1st. Roosevelt got 3 runs on 3 consecutive hits in the 1st. They got 2 runs on 4 consecutive hits in the 3rd. Strike 1 called on James Berry. If not for those 2 stretches, Frank Kurbis would have had a really good game. I know that's saying a lot if it weren't for all the bad stuff, but the bad stuff came in just 2 spells. Fouled away by Berry, 0-2. Usually instigated by this guy. James Berry's 2 for 2 today. He is now 6 for 7 on the season. Hard grounder to second. Sliding stop by Martinez. He throws to first from his knees, and it's not in time. So James Berry has his 3rd hit of the game. He stays red hot to open up the season. He's aboard with 1 down. So Berry is now 7 of 8. That's an .875 batting average. So that one I was able to figure out. Here's Ogawa. Kikoa Ogawa takes strike 1. Final numbers on Kurbis today. He went 4 innings, allowing 5 runs, all of them earned on 7 hits with no walks and 1 strikeout. Ball inside, runner goes, throw to second, not in time. Roosevelt's been aggressive. When they've had a runner at first base, it's been a pretty safe bet that they would take off at some point. That is their 2nd stolen base of the game. They've also had 1 man caught stealing. That caught stealing last inning was the first time this year that Roosevelt's been caught on the base paths. Granted, in a very short period of time. They were just 3 for 3 coming in. So now they're 5 for 6. It's a good number, but they'll have to do it a few more times before it becomes a great number. Ogawa loops it to the shortstop. Milkars is there. He makes the catch. 2 down. I think I'll call that a line drive in my scorebook. That might be charitable, but it wasn't exactly a pop-up. Ogawa hit it on a line. It was just a very loopy line. Lines don't have to be straight, right? Is there another word for it if it's not? Well, all questions worth investigating later. Right now, let's investigate the at-bat of Kyle Janenga. DH hitting 4th. Janenga grounds it to short. Backhanded stop, Milkars. Long throw from the hole at short, and a perfect throw. Janenga is retired on 1 pitch, and Jake Jerka throws a scoreless 5th inning. We've played half a baseball game. Roosevelt in command. They lead St. Francis 5-2. Bottom of the fifth inning. Saints pitching has done a nice job holding Roosevelt at bay the last couple of frames. Saints trying to mount a comeback. They've been down by as many as 4 runs. It was 5-1 at one point. 5-2 now as they start the fifth inning with Montgomery, Thomas, and Martinez due to hit. The pitcher is Keegan Bobbitt, as it has been since the beginning. First pitch of the frame is knocked into right field. That's a base hit for Max Montgomery. Sent back to the infield by Gavin Millard. Leadoff single for the Saints. Montgomery's on board for the first time today. He's 1 for 2. Good speed on the base paths as Mitchell Thomas digs in. Thomas is 0 for 1. Flew out his last time up. He's also walked. Max Montgomery taking a short lead at first base as Thomas takes strike 1. He doesn't steal a lot, or at least he hasn't this year, hasn't had a lot of opportunities. He's had a tough time getting on base. No attempts. Ball inside, 1-1, although he has had 4 walks this year, so he's been on base a bit. But not looking like he's going to be going on this at-bat, taking a very short lead at first base. 1-1 on Mitchell Thomas. Left-handed hitting outfielder, swings and fouls it straight back, 1-2. Still a long way to go in this game. Saints don't need to get the runs all back at once. Still plenty of time to chip away, as long as their pitching stays solid the way it has been the last few innings. Runner on the move. The pickoff throw goes to first base, and they've got him easily at second. 1-3 to 6. Montgomery is caught. So proved me wrong. I said don't expect him to go on this at bat just because he wasn't taking much of a lead. Well, because he was taking a short lead, that jump was even more important. He had to get a good jump at first base, and he left a touch too early. So he is retired. 1-2 on Thomas. Base is now empty. And Thomas skies one to left field, fouling out inning. He walked and hit the first 2 batters of the game. He fell behind another batter. His balls to strikes were almost 2-1 in the first, and since then, he has been a premier strike thrower. Swing and a miss. Thomas goes down, swinging 2 down. 4th strikeout of the game for Bobbitt. And it'll be up to Alex Martinez to extend the inning. No walks since the leadoff batter of the game. He did hit Martinez in the 3rd. But that's the only free base runner he's given since the first 2 batters of the game. I don't know if Martinez would refer to himself as a free base runner. He's paid the price. He's been hit in the back, and he's been hit on the foot. The one on the foot especially seemed painful. So he has no official at-bats today. He's been on base twice. He takes ball 2 high. He was talking about the shadows last inning and how the 4th would probably be the last time that Keegan Bobbitt gets to pitch with the shadows between home plate and the pitcher's mound. They've still been there for the most part this inning. Half the mound is shrouded in shade, but his release point, I believe, is still at a point that's going to be difficult to see for Martinez or any other Saints hitter. Strike over the inside corner, 2-1. The ball leaves his hand in the sun and then travels through that invisible shade barrier on its way to the plate. It makes it very difficult for the hitters. We're another 5 minutes or so, I think, away from that being a non-issue. Ball low, 3-1. So for whatever reason, Bobbitt continues to struggle to throw strikes against Alex Martinez. He's cleaned it up against everybody else. Outside of Martinez, nobody's even seen a 3-ball count since the first inning. Martinez has seen 2 of them. And now he finds his way on base for the 3rd time today. He's been hit by 2 pitches, and now he's drawn a walk. Saints have a 2-out base runner. That caught big play for Roosevelt. Skirting any real danger this frame. It could still develop. Back in the 3rd, Saints were able to get 3 straight 2-out base runners, turned it into a run. Not the easy way to score. I don't know if there's an easy way to score, but that's definitely the hard way. To have 2 outs, nobody on base, and try to build a rally from there. Ball low and in on Nate Maliska, 1-0. Although for as much as there may not be an easy way to score, if there's a high percentage way to score, it's usually by getting this guy to the plate at some point. Nate Maliska, big-time run producer throughout his career at St. Francis. He takes a strike. It's 1-1. Maliska has 3 RBIs so far this year. One behind Drew Dant for the team lead. Dant is not in the lineup today. Brian Mahalik trying different combination ball outside. 2-1 before conference play begins. Plenty of opportunities to shake up the lineup. Try to find the right combination. Hitters count here on Nate Maliska. Martinez is at first base with 2 down. Runner on the move, pitches low for a ball. Throw to second is in time, but he gets around the tag, and Martinez is safe at second base. Throw had him beat by plenty, but no tag applied. Maliska is now ahead in the count 3-1, and there's a man in scoring position. That's a big stolen base for Alex Martinez, his second of the year. The 3-1 pitch. Upstairs, he walked him. Back-to-back 2-out walks. Issued by Bobbitt, and now the Saints are in business. 2 on, 2 out, and the only man to drive in a run for St. Francis today, Jake Murda, is coming up. We'll get a meeting on the pitcher's mound first. I was just talking about how well Bobbitt has settled in. He's not falling behind hitters. Heavy strike thrower the last 3 innings. And as soon as I said it, he walked 2 in a row. First 2 walks since the first batter of the game, but now he's got 3 of them. 2 hit batters. And even though it hasn't happened often, when he has had that control problems, that's when the damage has been done. Both runs that have scored today for the Saints reached on hit by pitches. Both times it was Alex Martinez, and both times he was driven in by Jake Murda. Murda had an RBI single in the 3rd inning. He also brought home a run in the 1st, did not get credit for an RBI because the run scored on an error. But it's the same result. Man on base, Jake Murda batting. He put the ball in play, and it led to a run scoring. Murda, like Maliska before him, is a product of St. Lawrence High School. Maliska's at first base. Murda takes an awkward cut and misses. Runners get stuck between the bases. Now Maliska's in a rundown. Throw goes back to second, and the tag is applied to end the inning. 2, 3, 4, I believe, was the put out there. Saints had something going with 2 outs, but their base running cost them any chance at runs in the 5th. 2 men caught stealing in the inning. And we'll head to the 6th. Roosevelt 5, St. Francis 2. Sebastian Casillas leads off the top of the sixth as Roosevelt tries to add on to their 3-run lead. 5-2 is our score. Lakers scored 3 in the first, 2 in the third. Saints were able to end the trend of odd innings resulting in runs with a scoreless fifth inning. Casillas swings the first pitch of the sixth and knocks it down the first base line on the ground just inside the line. Nate Maliska scoops it up and steps on the bag. Good start to the sixth inning. 3 unassisted for the first out. Jake Jerka has retired 4 of the 5 batters he's faced since entering. The last 2 of them on just 1 pitch each. And now it's Jack Kiefer's turn to hit. Kiefer is 0 for 2. He's ended a couple of innings. Now he bats with just 1 out and takes a ball outside. Struck out looking to end the first. It's the only strikeout of the game so far for St. Francis pitching. Ball outside, 2-0. Grounded into an inning-ending double play in the top of the third. It's been standard in recent years for St. Francis not to get a ton of strikeouts from their pitching staff. Ball low, 3-0. I don't want to overgeneralize because they have had some high strikeout guys over the years, but Brian Mahalik really seems to value strike throwers, guys who pitch to contact, and he's had a lot of success getting those type of guys lately. Strike called, 3-1. Saints are off to a great start this year pitching-wise. 1-5 record, but it has not been because of the pitching staff. Strike called from Jerka to Kiefer, 3-2. 4.02 team ERA coming in. That number is going to get a little bit higher, I think. Typically it's higher in non-conference season. Line drive into right field, sinking, but not fast enough to avoid Max Montgomery, who makes a nice catch. Into the sun. He's able to lean forward and catch it around his knees for the second out of the inning. Good play by the Saints right fielder. 2 up, 2 down. 4 straight retired by Jerka. And that brings up JoJo Mack, the DH. Mack is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and popped out. Strike 1 over the outside corner. Next pitch is looped down the right field line. Montgomery charges, dives, and makes a great catch. Montgomery showing off his defense this inning. That was spectacular, diving towards the line to retire the side. 1-2-3 go the Lakers in the sixth. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. Saints will try to make up a few runs. They're down 5-2. 5-2 Roosevelt in the bottom of the sixth inning. Jake Murda, Cliff Vickers, Will Calcaterra are the scheduled trio of batters for St. Francis this inning. Saints have been able to get to Keegan Bobbitt a couple of times. They did it in the third, getting 3 straight 2-out base runners. And they were trying to do the same thing in the fifth as Murda takes ball 1 low and in to begin the inning. They had back-to-back 2-out walks to put runners at first and second. And Jake Murda came up with an opportunity to drive in a run or two, but never got the chance to do it. Fouled away, 1-1. The first pitch was low. It was in and out of the glove of Kyle Janenga. And so the runners took big secondary leads, looking potentially to advance on a wild pitch or a passed ball. But Janenga kept the ball in front of him. The runners ultimately decided not to try to advance, but Nate Maliska couldn't get back to first base in time. He was caught between the bases, ended up in a rundown, and ended the inning before ball outside, 3-1. There is a right-hander loosening in the bullpen for Roosevelt. It's been a long day for Bobbitt early in the season. You don't want to overextend guys too much. You never want to overextend anybody, period. I think by definition, that's the case. Ball inside. Murda takes the walk. 3 straight batters have walked for St. Francis. You don't usually say that with an inning break in between, but that is the case here. 3 straight walks going back to the fifth. 4 walks in the game, plus 2 hit batters. And now it's Cliff Vickers. Vickers has flown out to right, and he's grounded out to first. He's 0 for 2. He is knocked on the ground underneath the glove of first baseman Jack Kiefer. Vickers has a base hit. Murda heads to third base and slides in safely. They're at the corners with nobody out. St. Francis has a chance to make some noise here in the 6th. That ball was hit right at Kiefer. Ended up going just underneath his glove, so it was a playable ball, but he was playing in because he was holding the base runner on. And the ball was smacked hard by Vickers, so it would have been a very difficult play. Not able to make it. Vickers has his first hit of the day. 4th hit this afternoon for the Fighting Saints. And the last one given up by Keegan Bobbitt. He's done. New pitcher coming on. I'll tell you about him in just a moment. Saints are threatening. Runners at the corners. Nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. They trail 5-2. With runners at the corners, nobody out in the bottom of the 6th inning, Roosevelt has called on a new pitcher. It is Caden Ferran, the freshman right-hander from Parkland, Florida. Ferran is making his 2nd collegiate appearance. No record, no ERA. In 2 innings, he's allowed 3 hits, 1 walk, no runs. He has struck out 3. So good work in his collegiate debut. We'll see if he can carry it over to today. Tough spot to come into with 2 men on and nobody out. Will Calcaterra is the batter. Calcaterra is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. He's gone down looking once and swinging once. Corner infielders creeping in for Roosevelt as Calcaterra digs in. Saints catcher looking for his 2nd hit of the season. And he takes a first pitch ball, 1-0. 5 innings today for the starter Keegan Bobbitt. He allowed 4 hits, 4 walks. He struck out 4. Only 2 runs, but the 2 men on base are both his responsibility, so it could end up being 4 runs as well. Swing and a miss, 1-1. That's just a nice even line score. 4 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. He will not allow 4 earned runs because one of the 2 that he has given up so far was unearned. Outside, nice stop by the catcher Jananga. 2-1. After a shaky start, specifically with his control, Bobbitt settled in. He was really good the next few innings. Calcaterra flies it in the air out to shallow left center field. Kowalski comes in and he can't make the catch. It drops in front of Kowalski just behind the shortstop Andrew Lucas. It's a base hit for Will Calcaterra. Everybody moves up 90 feet, and that means Jake Murda comes in to score. It's a 5-3 ball game. So charge that run to the starter, Keegan Bobbitt. The man at second still belongs to him as well. For Will Calcaterra, it is the 2nd hit. First RBI this year. Here's Jack Salzeder. Salzeder shows bunt, takes ball 1 high. So I was about to say that for as much as Bobbitt settled in, as the game went on, he ended on a rough patch. Pitchers typically do when they're removed mid-inning. The last 4 batters he faced all reached base against him. 3 walks and a single. And it's now, including this Will Calcaterra single, 5 straight men have reached. There's a bunt back to the pitcher. The throw goes to third, and it's in time. Risky play throwing to third base. But Caden Ferran decided to try getting the lead runner, and it paid off. Salzeder's sacrifice attempt unsuccessful. He reaches on the fielder's choice. Calcaterra moves up to second base. Vickers is out, 1-5. Here's Alex Milcars, still 2 men on base, 1 out now. Milcars tries to bunt as well. He takes a ball high. The bunt was kind of expected with nobody out. With 1 out, not so much a sure thing, but Brian Mahalik does want his senior shortstop to drop one down as well. Not bunting on 1-0. He grounds it to the left side. Sliding attempt by the shortstop Lucas, and it's under his glove. So everybody is safe. Milcars into first. Salzeder is at second. Calcaterra at third. They're loaded with only 1 out for Max Montgomery. I was going to call it an infield hit for Milcars, but it actually wasn't. It did reach left field. It was slowed down by Andrew Lucas. Lucas looked like the wheels were turning in his head, trying to figure out which base should I throw it to after pulling this in. And maybe got a little ahead of himself as he wasn't able to make the play. Ball inside, 1-0. If he had been able to make that sliding stop, it would have been awfully difficult to get Milcars at first. Maybe he would have had a play at either second or third base. We'll never know. Max Montgomery is 1 for 2. He takes a strike. And the count is even. 1 ball, 1 strike. A base hit could tie the score. An extra base hit could give St. Francis their first lead of the game. He doesn't need a hit to get a run in. A sac fly would do it. That would do it. A ball off the glove of Jananga and all the way to the backstop. It's 5-4 as Calcaterra comes in to score. Salzeder up to third. Milcars to second. 2-1 on Montgomery. On a wild one from the freshman Caden Ferran, who pitched very well in his first appearance of the season. Not so much so far in this one. Fouled off to the right side, 2-2, and that kind of comes, I think, with the fact that he's a young pitcher. He came in with 2 men on base and nobody out. It's hard not to be tight in a situation like that. 2-2 on Montgomery. Ground ball right side and through the hole. Tying run comes in to score. Milkauer's around third, trying to score the go-ahead run, and he slides in ahead of the tag. St. Francis was down 5-1. They've scored 5 unanswered runs, and they now lead this one 6-5. Two RBIs on the play from Max Montgomery, his second and third of the year. And we're back to the top of the order. The only batter who was retired this inning was on a bunt. Bunt attempt from Thomas as well. He pulls back, takes a ball. Throw down to first, not in time to get Montgomery. Salzeder tried to give himself up on the sacrifice. It didn't work out that way. The lead runner was actually retired on a fielder's choice. So it was not what I would call an intentional out. The out was intentional. It just didn't occur at the base that they wanted. Point is, nobody has been retired this inning who wasn't trying to give themselves up. Thomas takes inside 3-0. Roosevelt scored 3 in the first, 2 in the third. They led 5-1. St. Francis scored 1 in the bottom of the third and now 4 in the 6th inning to wrest the lead away. 3 balls, no strikes. Line shot to left, another base hit. Thomas is on base for the second time today. Montgomery advances to second base, 2 on. Still only 1 out, and the Saints are trying to pad this lead. Things have turned around in a hurry here. St. Francis, who started that streak, he has not been retired today, nor has he put the ball in play. He's been up 3 times. He's been hit by 2 pitches, walked once. He's got a stolen base, 2 runs scored. So he has filled the stat sheet despite an 0-for-0 performance. Ball 1 outside, the count is even. 2 on, 1 out. Saints don't want to be content with their 1-run lead. Ball low and away, 2-1. Another hitter's count here. There have been a lot of them since Ferran entered the game. He's fallen behind every batter he's faced. This is the 6th man he's gone up against. 5 of them have seen a first pitch ball, I should say. With the runners moving, Martinez fouls it off, 2-2. Montgomery and Thomas will return to their bases. The only one to see a first pitch strike was the guy in the box right now, Martinez. But he, at one point, was ahead in the count as well, 2-1. Now it's 2-2. And so Ferran has earned himself a fighting chance in this at-bat. Nate Maliska stands on deck. Pickoff throw to second. No chance to get Montgomery. Wasn't leaning very far off the bag. Roosevelt moved up to NCAA Division II this year, which means they have to deal with a different pitch clock and different rules regarding that pitch clock. He's reset the clock by stepping off the rubber. They have the clock at this level as well, but it's not visible. The umpires are keeping it themselves, so it's not exact. Just going to have to take their word for it. That's not the case in NCAA, where Roosevelt will be playing this season. 2-2. Ball off the outside corner. Count's gone full. So today they're playing by their old rules again, but they're just going to have to get used to a different setup throughout this season. Payoff pitch. Fouled off his foot. I think that was the other foot. He was hit by a pitch on the left foot earlier. I think that one got him on the right. So it's a different spot. It hurts just as much. But it's been a rough day for Martinez. To get hit by a couple of pitches and now to foul one off of his leg as well. He's going to have some bruises when he wakes up in the morning. Maybe he should sleep in a little bit later. Miss the morning class. Throw over to second. Fake a throw over to second. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Still just 1 out. Saints already have 5 hits this inning. They've all been singles. 4 runs have scored. Martinez takes ball 4 inside. And for the 4th time today, he is on base without having to swing the bat. Came into play today hitting .063 with a 167 on base percentage. As of right now, he's still hitting .063. I'm not smart enough to do the math on the fly as far as the on base percentage is concerned, but I bet it's up around 300 by now. Nate Meliska is the 9th batter of the inning, and Meliska takes first pitch strike. So at least that's a step in the right direction for Caden Ferran. He's now thrown first pitch strikes to 2 consecutive hitters after missing on 5 straight. The 0-1, Meliska golfs it foul to the left side, out of play. Nate Meliska's 1 for 2 today with a single and a walk. Trying to reach base for the 3rd time. Base is loaded, only 1 out. Just about anything other than a strikeout or a double play will get a run in. Ball outside, 1-2. It's been a long inning for Caden Ferran. He's thrown over 25 pitches since entering midway through the inning. Fouled off, similar spot, left side, still 1-2. If you include the work done by the starting pitcher, Keegan Bobbitt, who began this inning, we're closing in on the 40th pitch of the inning. Saints have been up for a while. 9 hitters in. We still have only 1 out. 4 runs have scored. Meliska takes away ball 2. Ferran gets the sign and sets. He glances over at third base. Another pitch to Meliska. Misses inside. The count goes full. So now he's in danger of walking in another run. He fell behind the first 5 batters of the inning, but he didn't walk any of them. Now he's getting ahead of Martinez and Meliska. He issued a free pass to Martinez and is in danger of putting Meliska on base. Hard hit ground ball foul past third. We'll see another 3-2. Jake Murda began this inning with a walk. He stands on deck. 7 free passes issued today, including 5 walks and 2 hit batters. Another 3-2. Ground ball left side, off the glove of the third baseman Ogawa. It's scooped up by the shortstop Lucas, but too late to do anything with it. Everybody is safe. Another run scores, and the bases remain loaded. 7-5, St. Francis. Meliska reaches on the third baseman's error. He will get credit for an RBI because you can't assume it would have been a double play. So for Nate Meliska, that is the 4th run batted in this year. And for St. Francis, 6 unanswered runs. Jake Murda hits it off the glove of the pitcher Ferran. It ricochets over to second base. Casillas' throw to first is in time. Nice play by Casillas. A run does come in to score. Murda drives in his second run of the game. It's now 8-5 St. Francis. 2 outs, runners at second and third. That play goes 1-4-3 on the RBI ground out. Meliska advances to second base. Martinez is at third. Here's Cliff Vickers, the 11th man to bat this inning. Vickers is 1 for 3. His single came earlier this frame. "11 batters, 5 hits, 6 runs are in, 2 walks, 1 error. Ball low on Vickers, 1-0. And now over 40 pitches in the inning by a pair of Roosevelt hurlers. They seem to have this game under control a little bit ago. They were up 5-1. Ball inside, 2-0. Nobody warming up in the St. Francis bullpen. Jake Jerka has been great since coming in. He's pitched 2 shutout innings, but I don't know. I haven't been keeping time. It feels like it's probably been about a half hour, close to it, since he was last on the mound. And on a chilly day like this, you do have to worry about rust a little bit. Cliff Vickers with a 2-0 count is intentionally walked. They put him at first base. So they're loaded again. It's risky, loading the bases with a pitcher on the mound who's been struggling to throw strikes. But with a 2-0 count, Jason Becker didn't think it was worth challenging Vickers. So instead, they'll challenge Will Calcaterra with a fresh count. 8-5 St. Francis. They've scored 6 runs in the 6th. Will Calcaterra has one of those runs. He also has one of the RBIs. He takes a strike. Vickers at first, Meliska's at second. Alex Martinez is at third base. The 0-1 pitch. Calcaterra grounds it right to the shortstop. Lucas carries it to second base, steps on the bag, and ends the inning with a 6 unassisted fielder's choice. Saints leave them loaded, but they also score 6 runs on 5 hits, 3 walks, 1 error. As we head to the 7th, it's 8-5. St. Francis, for the first time today, is in the lead. Top of the 7th inning, it's 8-5. St. Francis leads Roosevelt. The Lakers have led this one ever since the top of the first inning when they scored 3 runs, 3 batters into the game. But St. Francis has come from behind with 6 runs in the bottom of the 6th. And now Jacob Jerka heads back to the mound to try to stifle the bottom of the Roosevelt order. 8, 9, and 1 due up. Lucas, Millard, and Kowalski facing the St. Francis Jr. on for his 3rd inning. Jerka has allowed just 1 base runner over the first 2. And he finds the zone for strike 1 on Andrew Lucas as we begin the 7th. Looks like the Saints have made a defensive switch. Mitchell Thomas, who was in center field, comes into play short, and Alex Milkars takes his place out in center. So the 2 guys, as far as I can tell, just flip-flop positions, and that's all. 1-1 on Lucas. Andrew Lucas is 0 for 2. He's flown out to right and lined softly to short. High pop-up on the infield, left side. Thomas, the shortstop, is under it. Near the mound, he makes the catch. Leadoff man retired. Roosevelt has not gotten their leadoff runner on base since the first inning. Here's Gavin Millard. Millard is a junior from Alaska, Juneau, Alaska, to be exact. He takes strike 1. He's playing a long way from home in the Chicagoland area. The 0-1 outside for a ball. I was talking a little earlier about where Roosevelt is located. It's right smack dab in the middle of the city, downtown Chicago. Andrew Lucas, who just popped out as Millard takes the ball outside, is from Oak Forest. And so I was saying that that was pretty much right in between the 2 locations of Roosevelt and St. Francis. But it's actually right down the street from Roosevelt's baseball stadium. Ball outside, 3-1. Like St. Francis, Roosevelt does not have a field on campus. They play at a local professional field. This one works out really well for the Saints. It's right down the street from school. It's also home to the Joliet Slammers. Ball 4, Jerka issues his first walk of the game, and Millard is aboard for the 2nd time today. 1 out base runner for Roosevelt. First base on balls taken by the Lakers today. That's why they're the Lakers, by the way. They play right on the lake downtown. But they play their baseball at Ozinga Field in Crestwood. Ball high, 1-0 on Harrison Kowalski. So it's a pretty good trek from their actual campus, but it's hard to find a good baseball field downtown these days. Throw over to first base to check on Millard. Gavin Millard has not attempted to steal this year, but Roosevelt has been successful when they've been on base. Millard actually did attempt one earlier today. He was caught stealing. He attempts one here as well. Swung on and launched out to left field. Vickers chases it back. Vickers has a beat on it, and he makes the play. Millard has plenty of time to retreat to first base. 2 down in the inning. Runner at first. And the batter will be James Berry. Hard hit ball from Harrison Kowalski. One of the harder hits we've seen from Roosevelt, but didn't get much carry on it. James Berry is 3 for 3. He has singled 3 times. He's stolen a base. He's got an RBI. 2 runs scored. Jerka checks on the runner at first. So I mistakenly said a minute ago Millard has not attempted to steal this year. He hadn't attempted to steal until about an hour ago. So now he's 0 for 1. But Roosevelt's been running every chance they've gotten today. As a team, they are 2 for 3 stealing bases. That's hit in the air out to shallow left center. Vickers comes in, the left fielder makes the grab, and the inning is over. Despite the 1-out walk, no damage done by Roosevelt in the 7th. We head to the bottom of the frame, 8-5, St. Francis. The lights are on here at Slammers Stadium as we begin the bottom of the 7th inning. Still bright and sunny out, but the sun will be setting within the next hour. Bottom of the order due up for St. Francis. Trying to add to their 3-run lead. Jack Salzeder leads things off. And the first pitch he sees from Caden Ferran misses outside for ball 1. Second matchup between these two today. Ferran faced Salzeder in the 6th inning. Salzeder dropped down a bunt. It was an unsuccessful sacrifice as Ferran made the play at third base. Fouled out of play, 1-1. Second inning of work for Caden Ferran. He gave up 5 runs last inning. I guess technically 4. One of those 5 was charged to the starter, Keegan Bobbitt. Fisted foul to the left, 1-2 on Salzeder. That's what I have to remind myself as I look at my scorecard. I see 5 of the batters that Ferran faced last inning came in to score, so that would be 5 runs against him. But one of them reached on a fielder's choice, so it was actually Bobbitt's base runner, even though it wasn't Bobbitt's batter. Ball low, 2-2. So the final numbers on Keegan Bobbitt today: 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Caden Ferran so far has pitched 1 inning. He's allowed 4 runs. 2-2. Strike 3 called over the outside edge of the plate. Salzeder strikes out looking for the second time today. He is the first strikeout victim of Caden Ferran today and the first out of the 7th inning. Three of the 4 runs allowed by Caden Ferran so far are earned. Alex Milkars swings to the first pitch, knocks it down the third base line off the glove of Kikoa Ogawa and into left field. Milkars tries for second base as James Berry struggles to get the ball out of the bullpen, and he's in there safely. Alex Milkars swinging the bat well the last couple of times up. Reached on a single last inning. We'll wait to see what the ruling is on this play. Could go either way. It was a hard hit ball though, so I would guess hit. It is a double for Alex Milkars, his second hit of the game. Here's Max Montgomery. Montgomery drops down a bunt foul for strike 1. One on, one out. Bottom of the 7th. St. Francis leads by 3. Jake Jerka has pitched 3 shutout innings. His day is most likely done. There's a righty throwing in the bullpen. Ball low and away, 1-1. But if things stand as they are, Jerka would get credit for the win. One in the dirt, ball 2. Runner goes for third, and Milkars slides in safely. So it's 2-1 on Max Montgomery. Alex Milkars has his first stolen base of the year. And a good RBI chance for Montgomery. Infield in for Roosevelt. Strike glide corner, 2-2. Montgomery has 2 RBIs already today. He's 2 for 3 with a couple of singles and a run scored. First 8 hits of the day for St. Francis were all singles. Milkars' double earlier this inning was the first extra base hit. Ball inside, full count. It's been a laborious day for Caden Ferran. A lot of deep counts. Another one right here. He's walked 3 so far. One of them was intentional. Payoff pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. And they're at the corners with only 1 out. Back to the top of the order. And Mitch Thomas. The junior outfielder turned shortstop last inning is looking for his first RBI of the game. He's been on base twice, though. 1 for 3 with a walk and a single. Came into play today hitting .389 for the season. Breaking ball outside, 1-0 on Thomas. Ferran starts another hitter off with a ball. He has struggled to get ahead of guys today. Thomas singled off of Ferran in the 6th. One-0 pitch, misses upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. Saints have scored 7 unanswered runs after trailing 5-1. Looking to add some insurance in the bottom of the 7th. 2-0. Thomas takes a ball inside, 3-0. And now he's threatening to load the bases. Alex Martinez is on deck. Martinez has not been retired today. Ferran doesn't want to face him with the bases loaded. Doesn't want to face anybody with the bases loaded. He's going to try to come back and get Thomas in this at-bat. Looking for the ground ball that could get him 2. Strike over the outer edge, 3-1. Last time up, Thomas saw a 3-0 count from Ferran, and he was swinging away. He ended up hitting a 3-0 single. This time, it did appear that he was taking all the way on 3-0. Now 3-1, though. All bets are off as the throw goes over to first base. Montgomery's been waiting patiently over at first, has not attempted a steal. He was caught trying to steal a base back in the 5th inning. Three and one on Thomas. Montgomery does go. The pitch is inside for ball 4, and it gets away from Janenga. Alex Milkar scores to make it 9-5. And Max Montgomery speeds around second, heads all the way into third base before Janenga can track the ball down. So they're back at the corners as Thomas draws his second walk of the game. He will not get credit for an RBI for that, but it's as good as one for the team, not on his personal stat sheet. Here comes Jason Becker. Looks like Caden Ferran's day is most likely done. Tough day at the office for the freshman. He'll have more of them. He has shown some promise, but freshman seasons usually are not smooth sailing all the way through. So he departs today. A new pitcher coming on. I'll tell you about him in just a moment. Saints lead 9-5, threatening for more. With runners at the corners, only one out when we return. New pitcher for Roosevelt is right-hander Jake Glickman. Glickman is a senior from Culver City, California. And he is out there on the mound for the first time this year before he makes the pitch. He throws over to first base to check on Mitch Thomas, who just walked to chase Caden Ferran from the game. Ferran pitched 1 inning. He gave up 5 hits. Walked 5. Struck out 1. Throw to first base. Runner back in safely. So far he's allowed 5 runs, 4 of them earned. Both men on base are his responsibility. When he entered, his team had a 3-run lead. After departing, they've got a 4-run deficit. Glickman trying to rein things back in. Still hasn't made a pitch to Alex Martinez. Martinez hasn't put a ball in play yet today. He's also not been retired. 2 hit by pitches, 2 walks. Been on base in all 4 at-bats. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Even though he's been on base in all 4 at-bats, I'm sure he feels like he's been missing out on something. There are runners on base here. A base hit could deliver an RBI. Another throw over to first base. Thomas back in safely once again. Mitchell Thomas, 4 for 5. Stealing bases this year. I was getting ready to say 4 for 4, but he was caught earlier today. Keep forgetting that the game has been played today. He was leaning a little bit there, but he's able to get back relatively easily. Glickman in a 4-run deficit, maybe a little overly concerned with the base runner. He's only made 1 pitch to the plate. He's thrown about 6 times over to first base. Runner on the move. Pitch is taken for a strike. Throw to second base. Is in time for the out. They come back home, and he's out at home as well. So the Lakers catch both Thomas and Montgomery stealing on the same play, and the inning comes to a close. Saints had them at the corners. With only 1 out, they're not able to add any more runs. They do get 1, however, in the 7th. And after 7 frames, our score is St. Francis 9, Roosevelt 5. Nine 5 St. Francis, top of the 8th inning. Ethan Fleming on to pitch for the Saints. He'll face Ogawa, Janenga, and Casillas. If anybody reaches base, Jack Kiefer will bat in the 8th. First pitch is taken for a strike. Fleming struggled in his first appearance of the year. Took the loss, went 2/3 of an inning. Allowed 3 runs on 1 hit, 1 walk. He struck out 1. Ball low and away. Leadoff man reaches for the Lakers for the first time since the first inning. Kakoa Ogawa has his third hit of the day. 8th hit overall for Roosevelt. They've all come from the top half of the order. Kowalski has 1, Barry has 3, Ogawa has 3, and the man in the box right now, Janenga, has 2. Excuse me, 1. 1 for Casillas, who's on deck. Janenga takes strike 1. He's got a 2-run double to his credit today. He's also Frank Kurbis started. Kurbis went 4 innings. He allowed 5 runs. And then Jerka came in, went 3 innings, no runs. And now it's Fleming. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And there's the first out of the inning. Just the second strikeout of the ballgame for St. Francis. First time a Roosevelt hitter has gone down swinging today. And with 1 out and a runner at first base, the batter is Sebastian Casillas. Casillas takes strike 1. Able to get 3 or more guys on in a row. So they've bunched it together. When they've been able to do that, they've been tough to stop. That's true of any team. Ball outside, 1-1. In the first inning, Harrison Kowalski singled and stole second. James Barry singled him in. And then Kakoa Ogawa hit an RBI triple. Ogawa scored on a Sebastian Casillas groundout. Ball low, 2-1. In the third inning, with 1 out, nobody on, Barry singled, Ogawa singled, and Janenga hit the 2-run double. There's the extent of your offense today. Casillas grounds it to third, gathered cleanly by Salzeder, who throws to second and gets the force there. 2 away. Ogawa is retired, 5-4. Saints are able to get the lead runner. Casillas is safe at first, and the batter is Jack Kiefer. Kiefer is the first baseman. He's 0 for 3. He has struck out, lined out, and grounded into a double play. Casillas dives head first back to first base. He's safe there. Fleming back to the mound to set himself for the first pitch to Kiefer. 2 for 5 on the season coming into today. Kiefer bounces one off his foot. 0-1. Never feels good on a cold day like this. Temperature was around 56 degrees at first pitch. It's awfully warm for this time of year, but that was when it was sunny. The sun's gone now. And it is still February. The temperature will drop when it starts getting dark. The 0-1, up and in, ball 1. JoJo Mack waits on deck, but he'll only bat if Kiefer can keep the inning alive. Fleming looking for a scoreless 8th. Misses high, 2-1. Already a good bounce back after his rough first outing last week. Fly ball, right center field, chasing it back into the gap. Nobody can reach that ball as it one-hops the wall. Alex Milkar's the center fielder, fires it back towards the infield. But Casillas easily scores from first base, an RBI double for Jack Kiefer. And our score is 9-6. Kiefer's got his first extra base hit, second RBI of the year. Third extra base hit of the game and of the season for the Lakers. Here's Mack, the DH. 0 for 3 today. He's grounded out, popped out, and last time up, hit a floater down the right field line. Max Montgomery robbed him with a great diving catch. Strike one called on JoJo Mack. Mack can really make this a game with a base hit. Roosevelt's down to their last 4 outs. Pickoff throw to second. Alex Martinez has to throw his body in front of that one just to keep it on the infield. Here's the 0-1. Ball low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. A lot of offense today. This is the first run that the Lakers have scored, though, since the 3rd inning. Trying to turn it into at least 1 more with a runner in scoring position. Check swing Tapper back to the mound. An easy play for Ethan Fleming. Fleming carries it to the bag, retires Mack. It ends the inning. So he does give up the 2-out run on an RBI double from Jack Kiefer. But with just 1 inning still to play, Saints have got to be feeling good about the fact that they did escape the inning with the 3-run lead. 9-6 on our way to the bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th, last chance for St. Francis to add some insurance. They've got a 3-run lead, 9-6 our score, as Alex Martinez digs in to begin the frame. Martinez, Meliska, and Murda. 3 of the 5 M names due up. See if we can get them all in an order next time. Martinez takes ball 1 outside. They're close. Milcars and Montgomery are 8-9. So it's just Mitch Thomas breaking it up. And it is, an M first name there. 1-0. Martinez grounds it to third base. Ogawa up with it, over to first. Low throw, but Kiefer digs it out. For the first time today, Martinez is retired. First time he put the ball in play. 2 hit batters, 2 walks, and now a ground out. Martinez actually was in the box at the end of the 7th inning, when that inning ended on the rare double caught stealing. With runners at the corners, St. Francis tried to pull the old double steal move, taking second base and home, but instead both men were thrown out on the same play. Nate Meliska swings through strike 1. Meliska has been on base each of his last 3 times up. He's singled, he's walked, he's reached on an error, and he has 1 RBI. Sharp grounder, but right to the shortstop. Andrew Lucas gathers and throws to first. 2 down. Nice start to the inning from Glickman. Jake Glickman came on last inning with 2 on and 1 out. He got out of that jam without having to retire a batter. Just that double steal. And that was that. So on the mound for a full inning for the first time and trying to make it a clean one. There's not been a 1-2-3 inning since the fourth. Ball one high on Jake Murda. Murda's had 4 productive trips to the plate today. Reached on an error and brought home a run in the first. Hit an RBI single in the third. He walked and scored in the sixth. And then also in the sixth, came up with an RBI on a ground out. So officially he's just 1 for 3, but he's had 4 productive outcomes when he's been up. 1-1 count. Ball low and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. In the 9th inning, Roosevelt will have Lucas, Millard, and Kowalski due up, the 8, 9, and 1 batters. St. Francis will be protecting at least a 3-run lead. 2-1 hits the inside corner, 2-2. It's funny, this was a conference matchup as recently as last year. And now Roosevelt comes to town as a member of NCAA Division II. It's a little bit of a weird feeling if you're the host team in a game like that. 2-2 is hit high in the air out to center field, deep but playable. Harrison Kowalski backs up, makes the grab, and ends the inning. I'll finish my thought about the Division II Lakers in the top of the 9th inning. It'll be their last chance to come back and tie or win this game after 8, 9-6 St. Francis. Top of the 9th inning, last chance for Roosevelt. They trailed 9-6. They've led this game by as many as 4 runs. They've trailed by as many as 4 runs. Down by 3 entering the 9th. Andrew Lucas, Gavin Millard, and Harrison Kowalski are the scheduled batters against St. Francis junior right-hander Ethan Fleming on for his 2nd inning of work. Fleming's first pitch to Andrew Lucas, the right-handed hitting shortstop, is taken for strike 1. Jake Murda is catching for the Fighting Saints. I didn't notice that before, so I believe this is his first inning back there. He was the designated hitter to start the day. The 0-1 is bounced down the third baseline foul. 0-2. Lucas is 0 for 3 today. He's flown out to right. He has lined out and popped out to the shortstop. The 0-2. Ball low, 1-2. Jake Jerka is the man who stands in line for a win. Ground ball to the left. Diving play by the third baseman. Salzeder from his knees throws to first, and it's late. Nice effort from Jack Salzeder, but Andrew Lucas beats out an infield single. Leadoff man reaches for Roosevelt for the 2nd straight inning. The Lakers I started to mention last inning have moved up to Division II this year. And it's certainly not uncommon to play an NCAA Division II or Division III team early in the season. Most schools do it. Ball high, 1-0 on Gavin Millard. But it's weird that it always feels like you're playing up a level. You want to bring your best to try to get a good win against a team that plays at a higher level of competition than you do. Strike called 1-1, but it's hard to get past the idea about Roosevelt that this team was in the CCAC last year. They played a conference series against each other less than 12 months ago. 1-1 is fouled back 1-2. So from that standpoint, it does not feel at all like St. Francis is playing up a level, nor does it feel like Roosevelt's playing down a level. Ball and 2 strikes on Gavin Millard. He skies it into center field. Milkars chases it back. He's under it. Milkars makes the catch. 1 away. That'll bring Harrison Kowalski to the plate. Runner at first base, 1 down. St. Francis is 2 outs away from victory. Roosevelt is 1 base runner away from bringing the tying run to the plate. And the top of the order has been lethal today. Kowalski hasn't reached base since the first inning. You don't want to let him on in front of James Berry. Berry has been a tough man to retire so far this year. Kowalski takes ball 1. The Lakers center fielder is 1 for 4 with a stolen base and a run scored. One 1-0. Inside corner for a strike, 1-1. Berry on deck, Ogawa in the hole. Roosevelt needs at least a few more batters to come up if they want to have any chance of winning this thing. Fouled back, and Kowalski's down to his final strike. Lakers scored 3 in the first. Saints answered with 1 in the bottom of the inning. Roosevelt added 2 more in the third. It looked like they were going to run away to an easy win. They were at 5-1. And then the Fighting Saints scored 8 unanswered runs. Ball inside, 2-2. 6 of those 8 runs were in the 6th inning. Two and 2 from Fleming to Kowalski. Popped up behind home plate. Murda throws his mask aside. He has room and makes the catch. The catcher puts away the pop-up in foul territory. And St. Francis is 1 out away from wrapping up their second victory of the season. Dropping Roosevelt to 0-3 this year. Last hope for Roosevelt, James Berry. He's a good hope. 3 for 4 today. He's 7 for 9 on the season. The first pitch to him is taken for strike 1. Berry has driven in a run. He has scored 2 today. Lines this into center field, chases Milkars back, but he finds it. He makes the grab, and there's your ball game. Saints win. They defeat the Lakers of Roosevelt University by a final score of 9-6. Good win for St. Francis today. Didn't look good early. They trailed 5-1 after 2.5 innings and were able to claw their way back. Primarily because of that big 6th inning, they sent 12 men to the plate. They scored 6 runs, and they were able to pull away from Roosevelt on their way to a 9-6 victory. Let's go back over the scoring in this one. The Lakers scored 3 in the first. Kowalski and Berry both singled. Ogawa tripled. He scored on a Sebastian Casillas groundout. That made it 3-0. Saints answered right away in the bottom of the first inning. Alex Martinez walked. He came around to score when Jake Murda reached on an error. Made it 3-1. But Roosevelt struck again in the third with 1 out and nobody on. Berry singled. Ogawa singled. Both men scored on a Kyle Jananga double to make it 5-1. And that was the point where it looked like this was Roosevelt's ball game. They may have been on their way to a blowout. Was not the case at all. The Saints got a run back in the bottom of the third inning. 2 outs, nobody on. Martinez was hit by a pitch. Maliska singled, putting runners at first and second. And Jake Murda singled home Martinez to make it a 5-2 score. In the 5th inning, they were threatening. They had 2 runners on with 2 outs, but 2 caught stealings in the inning ended up costing them any chance to score, but they were able to carry that momentum into the 6th. And it began with a Jake Murda walk. Cliff Vickers singled. Will Calcaterra singled. Jack Salzita reached on a fielder's choice. Alex Milkar singled. Max Montgomery drove in 2 runs on a single. Mitchell Thomas singled. Alex Martinez walked. Nate Maliska reached on an error. Murda walked. Or rather, this is his second at bat of the inning. Drove in a run on a ground out. Vickers walked. And finally, the inning came to a close on a ground out. But by the time the dust had cleared, 6 runs scored on 5 hits and 5 walks that inning. And the Saints were in control. They added 1 more run for insurance in the bottom of the 7th inning. Alex Milkar's doubled later came around on a wild pitch. That made it 9-5, and Roosevelt got 1 run back with 2 outs in the 8th. They had an RBI double from Jack Kiefer. That was all she wrote, though, for the Lakers. They end up falling in this one, 9-6. St. Francis picks up their 2nd win of the year. They're 2-5. Roosevelt still looking for their first win. They are 0-3. Winning pitcher was Jacob Jerka, who looked great in relief. Pitched 3 shutout innings, gave up just 1 hit and 1 walk. Jerka improves to 1-0 on the season. The losing pitcher was the freshman Caden Ferran for Roosevelt. He falls to 0-1. Ferran allowed 5 of the 9 runs in his 1 inning of relief. Final totals: 6 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for Roosevelt, 9 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for St. Francis. Saints are back at it tomorrow afternoon. It's a 1 o'clock start time, so make sure you're tuned into that one a couple hours earlier tomorrow. That's going to do it for this broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. St. Francis defeats Roosevelt by a final score of 9-6. Until next time, Terry Bonadonna signing off from Slammer Stadium in Joliet, Illinois. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Tuesday. Enjoy that first.